Hunter Knight Customs.
Hello guys, I'm Chris from Hunter Knight Customs. I'm here to show you a quick tutorial on how to fix most issues with GRANAMYR. I'm basically doing this because many of you asked me via my Facebook page and Hema.org and all the other places. So first I want to thank you for choosing me. So let's get into it. Now for this operation we will need a hairdryer as usual, LOCTITE superglue, and sandpaper 220 grit. You can find this paper also on Home Depot, Advanced Auto Parts. Just make sure it's 220 grit. Now here's GRANAMYR. As you can see, I bought two of them and they both have problems. Now let's tackle the basic assembly. Many of you have reported that the tail cannot fit when you take it out of the box, and this is true. I couldn't fit it myself and I left stress marks trying to force it in, as you can see there. Now for this step, grab your hair dryer. You don't need to heat it too much. The tail will pop right in. This method was discovered by Joe Amato. You can do the same for the legs. They'll just pop right in. Now here comes a problem. Many of us have received GRANAMYR with broken socket tabs, as you can see here. Both my GRANAMYRs came broken, one on the left and the other one on the right, as you can see on this. Now look, it even fell when I tried to tap it. There you go, that's the piece. But don't worry, there's a way to fix this. But first, let's make a distinction on plastics. Most modern toys are made out of a combination of PVC and ABS plastic. Let's take this Bane project I'm working on. If you see, his main components are made out of ABS plastic. This plastic is very rigid, very sturdy, and it's used mostly for the structural components of the action figure, so it can hold it together. Now the softer plastic is called PVC. Most limbs and parts are made out of this material, which is very soft. Moto is no different. They use also ABS on the torsos and PVC on the limbs. Both PVC and ABS react to heat. But hey, can we have a figure made entirely out of PVC? Yes, in fact we have one in the market right now. This Mortal Kombat figure is made 90% out of PVC, but it has its drawbacks. Look how easily the limbs and everything comes apart, just applying little to no pressure at all. Even the crotch is made out of PVC. In this figure, only the pins are made of ABS. Now, can we have a figure made entirely out of ABS plastic? Yes, we can. Remember the Joes of the 80s? These guys were so much fun to play with. But they also have their drawbacks. Within time, they'll become loose, and sometimes the crotches will break. By now you know that a perfect figure is a balance between ABS and PVC plastic. But what's all this to do with GRANAMYR? You know what? ABS happens to take on superglue very well. And yes, GRANAMYR has ABS on the right parts, as you can see on the sockets. Even the torso is made out of ABS, which takes us to the sockets, which are also made of ABS, but it's kind of a weaker quality. The connectors for the arms are also made of hard plastic, which is good. Now let's tackle the repairs. If you already assembled your GRANAMYR, take it apart as you see here on the video. See, no problem. Just do the same I'm doing. Now you're gonna have to wash the figure to remove the loop joint that comes from the factory. Use any dishwasher detergent that you may have. Now dry the figure as best as you can and grab your sandpaper. Now just break a little piece like you see here. What you're gonna do here is sand every face of the connector that you see here. This is done to remove any residues and to rough it up so the super glue bites better on the plastic. Now take your time on doing this. Nobody's rushing you. A good preparation work pays off. Now this is how it should look like after you worked the piece. See the difference? That shine will prevent the super glue from sticking. But it won't happen now. The piece has been completely roughed out. Now grab the sandpaper and do the same thing for each and every face of the socket. Yes, take your time here too. Just rough it out. That's the main goal of this operation. Now you can employ the help of a tool like a screwdriver or my trusty sculpting tool like you see here. It will help you do a better job. This is the point of no return. Apply the super glue to each face of the connector. Try to drag it out with the tip of the super glue. Don't overdo it. Don't put too much. Just the exact amount you see here. And now connect it to the dragon. Don't move it. Just let it sit for a bit, like 2 or 3 seconds. LOCTITE sets in 5 seconds, so you should take your time. Now, just add 1 drop on the top of the connector and let it sit. Do the same thing for the other connector. 1 drop on every face. And then plug it in. Now it's good to be moving the parts once you connect them, just in case, you know, so the articulations don't freeze with the super glue. But I don't think they will, because they sit on a separate ratchet joint which is independent from the body. But you know, you can never be too cautious. It's an $80 toy. Now let's make sure it's dry. You see, it's not sticky at all. This has completely dry. And look at this. You can turn the arm on the 360 and it won't come off. Same for his right arm, huh? Look at that, sturdy, and it won't come apart. You can hold this sucker in the air and it still won't come off. This method can be used for any of GRANAMYR's limbs, including the tail. Sand it. Also sand the socket. Take your time. Even if it's broken, it can work. Now add the super glue on every face of the hexagonal connector. Use the hairdryer and connect the tail. You see? No problem at all. The tail is sitting also in a ratchet joint. If the connector is dislodged, then there is little we can do for that, unless you detach the legs and try to work your way and reposition the socket. If you have more than 1 broken tab, you can use AVE's epoxy to try and reinforce the whole thing. AVE's epoxy is a 2-part compound used for sculpting and repairs. In less than 3 hours, it cures hard as a rock. But how hard does it dry? Well, this is one of my castings that I use for sculpting and replicating parts. You see? Cures solid as a rock. Now can you imagine that thing giving an extra grip to the super glue? We won't need too much for this operation. Grab 2 equal parts, around the same size of this, you know, use He-Man's shield as a reference. Now start mixing it with your fingers until you get a uniform color. Now the trick to work with epoxy is to always keep your hands wet. Wet your hands and keep mixing it until you get a uniform color, around kind of like the color of a bone. Now go dry your hands, otherwise you're gonna leave stains all over GRANAMYR. Split the epoxy into equal parts. Now apply it on GRANAMYR's arm, like this. You're gonna have to trim it later. Now use a screwdriver or a sculpting tool to trim the excess epoxy. And turn the arm so it can also help trim the excess epoxy. Remember, this is gonna be dry as a rock, so you better do a good job cleaning it. Work your way, take your time, do a good job, because this is gonna have to rotate clean. Now don't worry about the little debris, because when it dries it's gonna fall out by itself. Now if you have a clay shaper with a rubber tip, that will help you make a much better job. Now do the same for the other arm. Now wait 3 hours. It should be hard as a rock. Put him back together, assemble the torso, and voila! GRANAMYR is assembled. Now you can see how everything comes together in a beautiful figure. You can move the arms, it's gonna be super reinforced. I mean, GRANAMYR is a great figure. It has so many uses. I mean, you can hold your PSP or your lightsaber. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you find this tutorial useful and you can fix all your problems with GRANAMYR. I think I addressed everything. If I left out something, let me know. Alright, again, the eighth epoxy method is not necessary, just to give it a more, grip and be a bit more sturdy. But if you're gonna use it to pose it or anything else, I mean, you're not gonna. The super glue is gonna do just fine. Again, thank you for watching, and if you have any problems, any concerns, just send me a message. Alright, thank you for watching, and see you next time.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Op, 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 op. Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Op, 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 op. Oppan Gangnam Style. Hey, sexy lady. Op, 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 op. Oppan Gangnam Style. Hey, sexy lady. Op, 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 op. Oppan Gangnam Style.
Impressive.